same thing. It's a great time. Smiley. Yeah, all of them were really good. It was a great time. So, we need to go to Aquilo, but the problem that we had last time we tried to go to Aquilo is that we actually don't have enough rocket production. And we don't have enough rocket production because we don't have enough dynamite production. And we don't have enough dynamite production because we don't have enough carbonic asteroid crushing. And we don't have enough carbonic asteroid crushing because this is running. And this is running because ice hasn't backed up. But I think that ice is in a stable enough place where I can actually say that you should just never run. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something else. First of all, I'm going to grab offshore pumps because that was the one thing that I forgot we're actually going to need on Aquilo that I didn't bring. So can I get logistics drone to deliver to me, please? Offshore pump. Offshore pump. Times 1. No, times... How many fit in a rocket? 20. Bring 20 with you. And then, instead of just sitting there waiting for them to pile up, I'm actually just going to go fly the ship to, like, Fulgora, and then fly it to Gleba, and then fly it to Aquilo for the express purpose of harvesting asteroids. I'm going to let it build up a little bit of a surplus of explosives. Oh, yeah. And then we will try and make the flight all the way up. How easy is it to jump to and from your space platform or other planets? Well, space platforms have their own built-in logistics grid, so I can change any of this in real time as long as the inventory exists inside of the ship. As far as how easy it is to jump to new planets, I'll show you. Excuse me. I don't want these anymore. Please stop dropping them off. Where is my closest box of garbage to give to you? Thank you. It's about as easy as this. Take a rocket up, and then tell your platform where to go. Like, platforms are basically trains. You can think about them exactly the same way you think about trains. Except that your rails are your space map. Yeah, rockets are way easier to build now for a couple of reasons. Reason one is that you don't need RCS anymore. It's low density structure, rocket fuel, and processing unit. So rocket parts or rocket control systems just don't exist anymore. They also decreased the amount of resources you need to make each rocket part. And then also, granted this is fairly late game, but you can research rocket part productivity, which gives you a 10% innate, like baked-in bonus to your rocket silos when they are making a rocket. So eventually, with a ton of research, you can go all the way to like 300% productivity on a rocket silo, where, you know, like 4 blue chips and 4 LDS and 4 rocket fuel make you a rocket, but then LDS and blue chips and rocket fuel also have productivity research, so like functionally rockets are free in the late game. They cost you almost nothing to make. So we're gonna fly this platform out to Fulgora. Yeah, you have a ton of fuel cells right now. You do need an inert though. So we're gonna fly this out to Fulgora, mostly just to pick up asteroids, because our explosives production is lagging behind, which means our rocket production is lagging behind. And then once we have a good amount of asteroids picked up, then we can make the Aquilo flight, and we can start to make the Aquilo base. But this should be no problem at all for the firepower that we have on this ship. I think we should have more than enough guns, and we have more than enough power grid to soak the amount of lasers that we need to run to break these little tiny asteroid fragments up. So that's all 4 of you running. You're both synthesizing coal, although you're stuttering a bit. You do have all 4 explosives plants running now, though, so that's good. And then you have all 4 rocket plants running. Alright. Good. So then how about after that, you go to Gleba. And then from Gleba, we will go to Aquilo. And this is just to get a little bit of a backlog on rockets, because when we tried to fly to Aquilo last time we played, we got to Aquilo right as our rocket surplus ran out. And our ship half destroyed itself. So we really just need to make it a very, very small, little, tiny bit further. And then we should be good to go. We have 1,000 bullets on the belt, and that's keeping up just fine. We're at 447 rockets, which is slow. We need these to be running more often. But the only way I can really increase their throughput is with, like, prod modules at this point. And then also ice is backing up, which is great. Actually, that belt doesn't even need to be there. We'll just get rid of that. So we've got plenty of ice coming in. That's going to keep all of our fuel running. We're roughly break even on water, which I'm fine with, because there's a lot of systems running on the ship right now. We're fine on fuel, we're fine on thruster fuel, fine on oxidizer. As long as we can keep up on rockets, I think this ship should be able to run itself indefinitely. It's just we don't produce rockets very quickly. Although this is a nice little backlog of explosives here that we have piling up now. Alright, let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can make it to Aquilo. Let's save. Factorio stream. Off to Aquilo. The hazard here being that we are going to be going from medium asteroids, which are fodder for gun turrets, to large asteroids, which are fodder for rocket turrets. So as soon as these things kick on, we are going to be consuming a lot of extra rockets off of this belt. And we're trusting our backlog to work. And eventually, when this ship starts to make more regular trips, we're probably going to want to add some circuit logic to it that tells it when it's safe for it to travel based on the number of rockets that it has available. But for this maiden voyage, I think we're fine. So there's first rockets going off. We also need to get some explosive research in, because if we could cut down the number of rockets that we're shooting at these things from 4 to maybe 3, it would also save us a lot of productivity. Current number of rockets on belt is 540. It's holding in there. Current number of bullets on belt, 1,000. Actually have a surplus of those right now. We've actually burned through all of our thruster fuel somehow. What did you run out of here, friend? Calcite? Yeah, I ran out of calcite. And that's because you don't have enough oxide asteroids getting through to you, because this machine eats all of them. But you should be able to grab them every once in a while. And we don't need this thing to, like, make perfect speed all the time. The other one that would help this ship function just a little more smoothly would also be, like, asteroid productivity research. How long are you actually going to take to finish? 48 minutes? I think I'd rather get some higher value stuff in this queue. I think that I would rather get stronger explosives. And then I think that I would also rather get asteroid productivity. And I think both of those are more important than working on LDS Prod 11. Because I would like this ship to function just a little more smoothly. Those got a little close, but we're fine. Checking in on belt status. 386 rockets, that's scary. We burn through rockets so quickly. We're gonna make it to Aquilo, and I think once it gets into orbit, it'll stabilize. Especially because ice is starting to back up. That's a great sign. Some of these are getting kind of close, friends. Alright, you're good. We're down to 189 rockets. Jesus. Alright. But now that we're not moving anymore, your incoming damage should be much, much lower. I am going to want to keep an eye on this thing while it sits in orbit, but Stronger Explosives is done already, and we're about to pick up asteroid productivity as well, which is going to let us pump out more carbon for each of these crushed asteroids. So I think it's okay, but it's real sketchy for a while. So instead of biters in space, you got asteroids to fight. You have asteroids to harvest. That's what you're getting all of your... They're basically your mineral patches. But also for the last science, you actually need to send biter eggs to space in order to research them, which is an extra fun wrinkle. Alright, Aquilo time. Let's send down our supplies, shall we? First things first, give me my construction bots. And get started clearing all of these ice formations out. Lithium processing researched. Good. Here's my construction bots. Thank you. So now we can do this. Clear off all the space that we'll need. Then we can figure out what else we need to send down. I mean, we need to send down everything, so we might as well just do it. Space map is procedural like the worlds in terms of asteroids resource patches. It is deterministic. Well, the asteroids are random, but the density and distribution of the asteroids is very deterministic. So this is the space route from Gleba to Aquilo, which is how we got to Aquilo. You have a big spike of carbonic asteroids when you're 3,300 kilometers away from Gleba, some mediums, and then those all decrease in frequency. And the frequency of these big oxide asteroids decreases dramatically, and then once you get into orbit, everything kind of lowers a bit, which is why I think this Aquilo Sojourner is going to be stable when we just let it sit here. It does not have as many big asteroids coming in to threaten it now, that it's not moving. But after it leaves Aquilo and it starts to go back to some of those other planets, that density is going to start to pick up again. But, like, you can see that explosives are backing up now, because there's just better resource density out here. We're getting more stuff out of each asteroid. And so I think it'll be fine now that it's arrived. So, next thing we need down here is solar panels, substations, power poles, and chem plants. We need to get started on melting some ice down here. And then we will also need to send down our nuclear reactors. You did. You'll need your fuel. You'll need heat pipes. You'll need heat pipes, heat exchangers, steam turbines. You'll also need offshore pumps to collect ice in the first place. Send all that down. And then the Aquilo gimmick. There's a couple gimmicks on Aquilo. One is that you can barely harvest anything usable from the surface. You have to ship everything in from space. But the other one is that because of how cold it is, your bots drain power 5 times as fast and take 5 times as long to recharge. So even though we're running double portable fission reactors in this equipment grid and we've never had power problems before, we are completely out of power in our mech armor because our drones are extremely demanding of power while we're down here. Did I bring a cargo landing pad? Nope. Forgot completely. But I can send that ship over to Fulgora, and I can have it pick up anything it needs. I think I've got everything else I need. God, they're all busy. Here, I'll do this one by hand. Grab my offshore pumps. I'm just going to let you guys come back inside. The first thing that I need to get set up here is ice production, so that I can start to expand this island out a little bit. My best option for doing that down here looks pretty promising. I think we can set up a pump right about here. You'll need to send your pipe down. Send all of that. Send concrete down as well in case you need it. Maybe heating tower. I don't know if I need heating tower just yet. We'll see. Grab you. Grab you. So we're going to have a pump here. We're going to have chem plants here. What do you mean can't build on rough ice? You have concrete. Two, three, four, let's say. Can't build on smooth ice? Oh yeah? Here, just pave the whole thing. And then you don't need that. You guys are going to be in charge of making ice and ammonia out of ammoniacal solution. I'd like to send a tank down as well, I think. And a storage tank. I'm your official guide for what to expect when you go to Aquilo later today. Good luck. I don't think I should be trusted with that responsibility, but I hope it works for you. So in case I need ammoniacal solution later, I'm just going to send you underground here, and then we can send a heat pipe underground here. You know what? I want 4, actually. Let's make it look symmetrical. Give me chem plant 4. Run some more pipe. And then you're going to go underground here. We might need you later for reasons. You're also probably going to want to put concrete underneath the heat pipes. Run like here. Get some belts ready to send you down. The long-handed inserters as well. I don't think I need to save ammonia, ever. But I do think that I'm going to want to save what's coming out of you. So this is also going to be an underground. LDS product 2, or what was that? Asteroid Prod 4 done. Okay. And then these, we're going to need to do a bit of underground chicanery. Because we're going to need to fit inserters in here too, and we're going to need to fit heat pipes in here. So, number 1, this heat pipe's going to come around like that. This heat pipe is going to come around like this. And it's going to connect in like this. To keep those heated. No, wait, that's not going to work. Put your undergrounds in. Yeah, that's exactly why that's not going to work. You'll need these two to move, because these are going to be long-handed inserters. So you're going to be pulling out here and here. You're going to be pulling out here. And then you're going to be pulling out here. And then these heat pipes, you're fine and you touch everything. You touch, but you need to be connected. You can go here. Technically, I guess you don't need that. This looks weird. Then you'll have belt here. I think you're actually touched by everything. I wonder if there's anything usable I can do with that space. I don't think there is. No, wait, actually. Can I do a better job with these inserters? What if I have the inserters go here? No, because then you don't have a way for the heat pipes to touch the chem plants. You could have them go here, though. Does that let you do anything fancy? It lets you go like this, which is a more interesting looking design for the heat pipes. Like, that looks better. And you're still touching everything. Okay. So that's enough to get your ice started. Let's shut these three off, because we're going to need to get power going first. Put you guys down to start harvesting. And then you can put your power back here in order to give it a source of heat. And then you're going to need to send your heating towers down. Heating tower, rocket fuel. Thanks for the follow, Quiet Kitten VRC. Hopefully this is useful to you in some capacity for your trip to Aquilo later. How much do you produce? 5, 10, 15, 20. These are turbos, so you're going to have 20 on each side. Yeah, you'll be fine. We won't overload that belt. Don't forget to pack earmuffs. I would hope that my mech armor has, like, heat in it. I would like to get you in a place that's kind of centralized for both of these so you don't lose too much heat. How about, like, here? And then if I need to run a pipe out of this tank, I have it available. I'll take some of that. I actually do this, and then figure out where I don't need heat pipes here, like there should be fine, and then here should be fine. Alright, looking good so far. Looking real good so far. Don't think I've forgotten anything super critical. We are going to want to turn these into ice platforms, so let's send our assembler down. Oh, we need a tank for water. We gotta set that up, like, immediately. No, you're doing that already. This is the tank for water. No, wait, it's not. You need, this isn't what you need. You need to be melting ice. You don't need to be making ammoniacal solution. You're doing this in the wrong order. Leave those. Have this be ice melting. Just get rid of this pipe. So that would actually be taking ice in. Yeah. Yeah, this is much smarter. And then it's going to spit water out. Ice melting. Get rid of these three. Replace them with solar panel. Slowest inserters you've ever seen in your life. Get melting. You're going to go into our tank, and that's what's going to allow us to start our nuclear reactor. So you sit here and work. We actually don't... Do substations freeze? No. They work in the cold. How about that? So that's all we need for you. How are you going to build this reactor? It's going to be very simple. Turn your grid off. You're going to have one of these. You're going to have some of these. You are going to produce 80 and 80, so you need to account for 160. But you don't want all of that to go into heat exchangers, because some of it you're also going to use to thaw things down here. So each of you consume 10. You would do 8 and 8 to consume everything. So I think instead of 8, 8, you probably do like 12 instead of 16. What's 12 going to look like? You could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that is all of your heat exchangers that you would want. That's going to make you 12 times 103 per second steam. 1236, and then each of you consume 60. You can run about 20 turbines off of that. So 1, 2, 3. Maybe you just go like really easy. And you run... Nah, you can run more than that. You'll go 10 and 10. Whatever. I'll get to you later. Space is actually not a concern on Aquilo, because ice is mostly a waste product. So we can really just build this out as much as we want. Fine. Happy now? Yes, very. So water is probably going to come in like this. That'll let it talk to both. You are going to need to think about how to heat that. You could do like this. And then, you know, these you can have run out somewhere else. You can go like this to heat the turbines at the end. Strive for symmetry. Get those out of the way in case you want to do an underground. And then up top, you can do it like that as well. And then how are you moving steam between these? It's just going to be like a really long pipe, I guess. That does the job. You can run this heat pipe around to the back of them. And that's your power. That is your power. You will need requesters and storages. Requester, storage, Logibots, Roboports. You can also use fast inserters for these, so send the fast inserters down. And then you're going to have to find a place to put that. We have our first 19 water. I think we've completed one operation of this plant. Although you're about to lose too much heat. Have another 10 rocket fuel. Oh, son of a... I didn't realize I actually canceled blueprints. Despite that, there you go. Wait, these are off by one. Wrong. I think I need these to connect directly, because otherwise I have to figure out how to run heat into them. Like, if I had pipes coming along here, it would be a nightmare to heat the pipes that are at that join. How are you going to heat the turbine? Because the turbine also needs heat. It does. You don't have a way to heat the turbine right now. You're going to have to do this. You need to run the heat pipe like this. And then you need it to come inside like this. And then your pipe is going to come like this. There's probably a way to do this that uses fewer underground pipes, but I can't think of it. And then you come down like this. And then we can do a little bit of design work here. Maybe make it look interesting. I don't know how it's going to look when these all connect to each other, but it might be kind of interesting. You actually don't get hit by a heat pipe. These need to be completely filled in. Alright, well then just fill in all of them. I don't love this. This does not feel perfect. It's a lot of heat pipe, and it's going to be a lot of heat bleed. I think there's a better way to do this, and I'm going to try and find it. The better way to do it would be 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, you want 10 on each side. It would be to go like this. 5. It would be to go like this. It'd be go like this. I think. Maybe. Hold on. Excuse you? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Put the heat pipes in, because I think that's what you're struggling with right now. Put the pipes in, because I think that's what you're struggling with right now. Because I want you to go like this, and then I want heat pipe to go like this. And then you guys don't need to extend that far anymore. Hey, Abuelita. How's it going? So you can come around like that. I'm going to do one side and then just mirror it. You can come up like this. But then this steam is going to go under. No, you don't need to do that. because you can have this come around the top. And then you don't need to connect to your friends. So you can have this come up like this and rejoin here. And then this rejoin here. And this is going to go under. And you're going to do one of those. You have a diagonal connection. You need a connection. You need a connection. And you'll need a connection. You'll need a connection. And then you actually don't need these. You can have it stop there, and then this is your diagonal connection. So that's the way you can do it if you really want to mitigate the distance the heat travels. And then you've got some nice space for little infrastructure here. Now that does only put you at 16. But I think that's okay. So delete this entire side. Copy this. Flip horizontally. Paste it. These heat pipes talk to each other, so that's fine. The only thing you need to add here is you need to add your fuel delivery. Can you get a turbo underground underneath a pair of nuclear reactors? I don't actually think it matters. And I think I would still probably want to use logistics for this, even though logistics have a pretty big debuff on Aquilo. But I just want to see. Yeah, just destroy all my blueprints. That's fine. So can I get one of these to there? I can. It does make your heating really easy. Because you go like this at the end. You have it put in. And then over on this end, you have it take out. And then you spit out like this. And then you just do the same thing. And then you have belt come in like this and come out like this. And you have both of them go underground here to let the heat pipes join. So you do have a way to do that without involving logistics bots in the equation. And the heating solution for it is really elegant. In fact, you don't even... Well, you put that there for, you know, reasons. I don't know. I really don't hate that. I think that's the power plant we go with. The only question is figuring out where we're actually going to put it. Given that it's going to be like our central heating system, I would really like it to be central. So our oil is here. Our fluorine is here. Our lithium brine is here. Our fluorine is here. So it can go anywhere in the middle. How's it going? It's going. It's actually going well, I think. Not only is it going, I would say that it's going well. I'm going to commit to building the nuclear reactors here. Let's get your concrete down. What do you mean you can't? Oh, right, because it's blueprints. Amanda is hanging out downstairs right now. Sounds like she's doing something in the bathroom and watching a show. I can just let the robots do this, I guess, at this point. Except you didn't need to do that. Or this. Or any of this. Or this. Or that. And then we'll go ahead and pave the rest of this. Just for consistency's sake. Did you ship lights with you? Can you make it look nice down here? Because Aquilo is really dark. It's a negative on lights, Ghost Rider. Send the rest of your concrete down. Send all of this down. And then I'm going to need you to go to Fulgora. Are you ready to do that? You have 500 rockets in inventory. You are ready to make that trip. Please go to Fulgora. Are you ready to put nuclear fuel into this thing? Yes, but also, you took away all of your ship's fuel. Why is this interrupt not fired? If cargo is less than 10, go to Nauvis. That interrupt should be fired. You need to go to Nauvis right now, because you're about to run out of fuel. And that would be disastrous for you, because I took all of yours. So, you go work on that. And I think we'll be okay down here to just start running. So you filter spent nuclear fuel. You same thing. You output priority right side. You output priority right side. You input priority left side. You input priority. You output priority. You output priority left side. You output priority left side. I guess you'll also need to power this, huh? Yeah, you didn't really consider that. How are you going to get power to these turbines, too? You didn't really consider that at all. Well, mercifully... Oh, they don't connect. Oh. You'll connect here. So I need to run these out by one more. Ooh, Sojourner. Turret ran out of ammunition. How? You should be able to pick that up. Are you running out of rockets? No, well, you're at 131. That's actually pretty bad. But you're into inner system now. You have a chance to rebuild. Okay. We're good. We're not panicking. Everything on that ship is actually fine. This heat pipe here needs to come out by one. Because we need to accommodate a substation. But then you also want that one to come out by one? And how are you going to get it to power everything up here? You can. You can pull this out by one. Symmetry, obviously very important here. Then, how are you going to do it down here? I think the first step you're going to take is making that longer. Because the spot that you're aiming for is here. And once you've gotten that figured out, then you can worry about how everything else is going to work. And in fact, if this is the way we're lining things up, we may actually run water in this way. And not use this at the other end. Which makes your heat pipe connection much easier and lets you shorten the length of that belt a little bit. So you can do something like that. You are going to need a little more fuel. That's just a wall. You're okay. Don't panic. Heat pipes are going to back up to here. Can square that corner off. You actually don't need it to be this long, because you can have this heat pipe wrap around one more to touch that turbine. But you know what? It looks kind of nice this way. It uses up all the concrete. You don't need this, though. You can get that footprint to be slightly smaller. This is a good nuclear reactor, and I'm happy with it. You don't need this either. You can have this come down like that, and it's still good enough. Just doing as much as I can to minimize the amount of heat pipe exposure that we have on this thing. Oh, this isn't going to work, because inserters always try to place on the far side. So how do you work around that? Like this. And then this you keep because you want this thing to always be able to grab a fuel cell if one exists. You place on far side, so you should spit out just fine there. Don't like that it's not symmetrical, but I think there's only so much that I can do. Well, I could slide you over. You can go like that. Why are you at Gleba? You're supposed to be at Fulgoro. Like, either way, you have your nuclear fuel. I'm just going to send you to Fulgoro. Okay, so nuclear fuel is fine. It's good, and I like it. You're going to come out like this. And then you just need to figure out how you're going to get the water into it. Which you can do. And you're going to do this. Force that water into the other tank. These both come under. They connect to each other. Heat pipe comes out by one. You'll have pipe here. You actually didn't even need to move that tank. But now that you have, I guess just put this one here. Run you like this. Run you like that. Push you into the other tank. Run pipe like that. Run heating pipe like this. Wait for it to heat up. And then unify your heating network. So that's going to let heat from the nuclear reactor flow into the heating tower. We can now get rid of these solar panels. Excuse me. Oh, it never got hot enough. It never actually got hot enough to run. Yeah, you need to let these heat up more. You just got to keep pumping heat into the nuclear reactors until they're ready to turn on all the way. Meanwhile, you at Fulgora, we're going to add a new section. This is going to be called Aquilo Building Supplies. We need light. Very important. 100 of them. And then what else do we need on the surface right now? I don't think we need much, you know. Bioflux alarm is on now, V's. Did something break down here? Nothing looks broken. Are you not making rockets? You're making rockets. Where's your ship? Gleba Voyager is parked. It's waiting for science. It doesn't have bioflux. Who does the bioflux? You do the bioflux. You're out of fuel. Oh, the train is running. That's what's going on. The train is just a little late. I mean, it doesn't matter because all of these reverted back to their wild state, and we need to go back and fix it anyway, but, you know, one thing at a time. So with your nuclear reactor up and running, your heat approaching 500. These also need to be temperature regulated. So you connect here, you connect here. You read temp, you read temp. You enable when T under 600. And then same for you. With your nuclear done, you can start to think about other stuff to build. Other stuff to build is going to be oil harvesting. So that would be one here, one here, one here, one here. One here, one here. You are going to need ice platforms out there for all of them, so that you can run your pipe successfully. We'll just square this island off a bit. As much as possible, let's try and keep our pipes tidy. How are you going to get heat in there? Don't need to. You can run one like this, and like this. And then back around like that. And that's going to let your heat talk to everything important over here. We'll put a substation here. Gonna have a substation here. Do a bit of decorating. Bit of concrete decor. Good. How are you getting a heat pipe to talk to that? You want to move that thing. Just set it in the middle. You don't need the heat substations, which rocks. So this heat pipe would come around like this. And then you'd have it spit back out that way. You would then come back above ground here before going underground again. And you'll have a connection here from this pump jack. So that heat pipe should be a fairly straightforward connection. And then you've got your two up here. Oh, you also need to power that thing, I bet. Yeah. Have one there. And then we'll figure out how you talk to the grid later, as well as the heating grid. Under, you're gonna pop back up here. I may want to module those. I'll probably need to module them later, but for now I'm just gonna get it up and running. It's fairly easy for me to go back and module if I decide I need to, because we really shouldn't have any kind of power issues down here. We haven't built like a massive nuclear power plant, but we've built a fairly robust one. And then this heat pipe is going to come up and around like this. And then it's going to run all the way up here. And this is one that's probably going to need a supplementary heating tower, because that's a pretty long run of heat pipe. But we'll see. I don't immediately know just how far that nuclear reactor is going to push heat. Oh, it's so annoying. Fine, we'll do that. But, like, maybe we need a supplementary heating tower here, and then we, like, ship rocket fuel to it with a requester chest or something. I'll stick it there just as a reminder. And then the... Well, no, I guess you'd want the requesters to live in front of it. So you'd actually slide it back here. You'd have the heat pipe connection here, and then you would have requester and a fast inserter communicating with this thing about its temperature. And then much further down, about here maybe it looks like, you might want a roboport. Oh my goodness, can I square this off a bit? Yeah, that'll do. That'll touch everything. And then you could also do it here. So that will be oil done. And then this will be oil out. I feel like I should put oil into a tank. I can't tell you why, but I would like the ability to stockpile it, if I need to. And if I slide both of these down by one... Well, you can't slide... You won't be able to slide the pump jack down, obviously. That needs to be on oil. But it lets you wrap this heat pipe around so that it has an easier time touching all this. Good? So far, good, I think. So far, good. Let me have you thaw out a little bit, just so I can take a look at how this works. Which is also going to require hooking you up with power. That is also really annoying, so that these just barely don't talk to each other. Yeah, it's literally one off. Oh, you can fix that. These can slide out by one. Right? No, because then they don't reach. It's just a wall. I'm gonna have to go back down there and fix that. It's gonna annoy me very soon. Why don't you do this? Sever these. Slide these out. It's insanely wasteful substation placement, I'm aware. And then you just need to come in one. And now, don't do that. There you go. And now, you have a nice square connection here. Boom. Everything has power. But you are having trouble pushing enough heat down this pipe to keep everything running. I think if I let you sit here for long enough, you'll get there. But for now, we'll just stockpile a little bit of crude oil, and then eventually this thing runs out of heat, and we go, ah, okay, whatever. So what do you do with the oil? I haven't actually, like, done any kind of Aquilo setup yet. Let's go grab your fluorine. Because this one's also going to be a little complicated. Get your pump jack here. Maybe have it flow directly into a tank? I don't know. The bright side of this is that you have a beautiful place to line up a heat pipe here. And then have it stay in line with how it outputs. Like this. I don't know where this pipe is going, but we're going to find out together. And then you're going to need a lot of ice flow. And then you're going to need a lot of ice flow next to it. That's actually all of your ice platform already. You probably want to start making more. You shouldn't need solar panels anymore. What you do need is more ice melters. Let's get this tank filled up. And then with ice being melted, you probably want to think about generating ice with those ammoniacal solutions that you set up earlier. You have an opportunity to just send this belt underground here. Which means that you're actually going to do your ammonia pipes over here. And then anywhere you can just find the heat for it, you're going to have one of these working on... Oh, ice platform needs ammonia. Son of a... Alright, we are going to have to figure this out now. Well, you know that this works, and you need a way to take ice. So copy this. Paste it over here. Where are you sending the liquid? What liquid do you need to send? I think you're fine. Put it here for now, and then think about it. Nope, that's not going to work. Remember, you have no ice platforms left. Put it here for now. Grab your offshore pump. It lines up. You love that. Run this. Run an extremely cursed heat pipe around like this. Connect it to this, just so these turn on. God, a nuclear reactor is so much better at heat generation than the heating towers are. It's crazy. Then you are actually going to be doing this. So that's producing your ammoniacal solution. Fill those in. Come and borrow some of this, because you're not actually ready to make this yet. Just repurpose the ice from over here. This heat pipe is going to need to come out by 1. because this is going to go under and over directly for now into an assembler that is making ice platform. Later, we will automate this. For now, I just need it built. And then you'll have a box. You'll have an inserter. You'll have an inserter. You'll have a box. You'll have a heat pipe. You'll give it some amount of ice. You aren't getting... Oh, because they're turned wrong. You're going to make ice. And we're going to send that over here into the melters. So now we have water, kind of. These can jam. Oh, you know what? You go like this. And then you go like that. That's what you do. And then you get rid of this guy. You even get rid of this guy. Alright, so now we are slowly making ice platform. Realistically, we would want this to go at the end of this belt because we want all ice to get melted into water first before we do anything else with it. But we at least have that running. And it's mostly good, and we might want to reposition it later, but in order to reposition anything around here, I need to have ice platforms automated. So we're slowly going to start producing those. Those are going to come out here. Plan all of them in, and then you can turn your RoboPort on. You're going to have some pipes here. And then you're going to have heat pipe. It's going to look something like that. Ice platforms pending, obviously. You probably also want a satellite heating tower out here, just to keep temps up. And this one is going to be really annoying to try and supply with logistics pods, because it's a long ways away. You're also going to want to figure out how to run electricity to it. And you'll reach here. You'll reach here. You'll reach here. And then you can join into the network here and here. So that's how you're going to get your fluorine. And then you're also going to need your lithium solution, which is here. Let's also go clean this island up, as long as my drones have charge. Yum, yum, yum. There you go. Keep those guys running for a bit. You, it's fine. Like, you don't actually need to have heat right now. It's okay. Extra ice platform. Make this a nice 3 wide. It's just a wall. You're fine. Out here, you'll have your requester chest with an inserter that reads temperature. Right, you have to connect it first. That reads temperature into you, and then when temperature is greater than 600 or less than 600, you add heat. Supplementary heating out there done. Where's your RoboPort going to live? RoboPort can live here. But then you'll need another roboport. And you're not going to know where it needs to connect. Although, yeah, you know what? One out there will be fine. So we'll have the beginnings of a logistics grid kind of talking to each other out this way. Water is still going up. That's good. You have shut off. And that's because your ammonia is too high. So now we need to figure out a way to spend down ammonia. What do I use ammonia for? Used in ice platform? Right, but there's too much of it. Solid fuel from ammonia, using crude oil. That I like the sound of. It just means that we have to get the ammonia all the way over to the crude oil. When really what we should be doing is just pumping the ammonia over here. Because then we can keep it all in the same place. Also, isn't there a rocket fuel recipe down here? I would honestly rather just skip straight to rocket fuel. Yeah, ammonia rocket fuel. Well, it takes solid fuel and a ton of water. But we'll benefit from rocket fuel productivity doing that, which is good. Speaking of. Let's work on that a few times. Why does it sound like they're static? It could be my audio. It could also be the soundtrack on Aquilo. It's got a bit of a funky soundtrack. It could also be me picking up ice over and over again. Is it that sound? Because that's just picking up ice. Not that. I'm gonna say that it's Aquila soundtrack, but I could be having audio issues and I just don't know what they are. Sounds like static or bot charging? I mean, it's not the first time that I've had audio issues in, like, the last 48 hours. I might need to, like, reinstall some sound drivers or something. You know what I need to actually do here is just get a ammoniacal solution tank set up. So that I can build a surplus of it, and then I can just delete this tank if I need to. Because I think the thing I'm most interested in right now is ice. I don't think that's always going to be true, but I think right now I'm interested in ice the most. And then will you work on that? I want to figure out how I'm going to be making rocket fuel. What are my ratios? Solid fuel from ammonia, 2 per second. Ammonia rocket fuel takes 1 per second. So I can go 1 of you into 2 of you. Let's see if I can accomplish... I need more chem plates. I'm going to request 40, I think. Just to make sure that I have enough. So you can go 1 here, 1 here. Ammonia rocket fuel, ammonia rocket fuel. No, like this and this. This is your water pipe. No, that has to be your inserters. Okay. Still doable. Here, here. Longhand, longhand. Water. Underground, underground. Your ammonia belt is going to be up here. Your ammonia pipe. You know what I mean. So you're going to need heat. You're going to get heat from here. You're probably going to get heat from here. I don't immediately know how that's going to work, but I'm sure we'll figure something out. Because you won't have space for an underground. And then you go underground here, and above ground here. And then your oil is going to come through like this. That's diagonally heated, but these heat pipes will need to be there. That's mandatory. The only thing you need to make this tileable is connecting heat pipes. And I think you can do that like this. You have no solid input, so I don't have to worry about any inserters for you. Oh, no, you need one more underground over here. You need that. So that's going to push you out by one. But then everything there is getting heat. This connects here, and then this connects here. No, this connects here. Keep it symmetric. I think that's tileable Aquilo rocket fuel. No, you need one more above ground, one more underground pipe here. So push this heat pipe further out by one. But everything still has a connection. I think that's tileable Aquilo rocket fuel. With, like, we have to belt the rocket fuel, obviously, but that's easy. It's literally this. And you're done. Power. One here reaches everything. You can just include that. And then extend your belt up by one. I mean, why don't you do this? Go here and here. Send this underground, and then this is like your heat pipe connection into some larger heat pipe grid. So then that's your tileable unit. And I can't imagine we're going to need that many of these. Like, how much rocket fuel do you make? Oh, 0.1 per second? No, we probably want, like, shit, 6 of these. How much crude oil do you make? 37 per second? Holy cow, these things produce fast. Oh, it's a super rich field. Okay, so you're never going to be throughput limited on a crude oil. You'd be consuming like 48. I think your biggest issue is going to be ammonia. Your biggest issue is going to be ammonia. Each of these make 50. And then this consumes 130. So 3 of these will run 1 of these. I wonder if I could even tile that right now. Like, how crazy do we want to get? 1, 2, 3. Back it up by 1. Back it up by 2. Because you need to get ice out of this thing as well. You would have an underground here. That's your ammonia. That connects in like this. You would have heat pipe here. Hold on, put your inserters in. You need that space. It needs to be 1 more back. With modules and beacons, it's less bad. Yeah, that's true. But I don't think I'm gonna need to beacon down here for the amount that I'm going to be producing. So let's say like here, here, and here, because this is going to be the heat pipe connection to keep all this stuff warm. As is that. As is this. And then we only have to take the belt underground one time. So this is going to be ice out. And you just barely don't connect, but we can fix that. We can move you over here, and we can move you here. Or, alternatively, we can move you there, and then we can actually have that be inline. So what are you forgetting here? A way to balance that belt, because you're going to be shoving a lot of ice down. Also, an underground connection here, and one here. So that all of those belts will talk to each other, which means you need one more heat connection over here. So this would need to come around like that. And then you have to figure out where you're going to put your substation. Could you put it all the way behind these? Yes. Also, you're going to need heat pipe logistics back here. You don't need to heat it from the front, but you are going to need to go like that. And then your substation would live there. I don't know, something like that. A 3-unit tileable is actually kind of awkward. Maybe I do this instead. And then that way it connects up a little more nicely. And then just extend the heat pipe out a little. I think that is like our fully integrated rocket part production step one. It's a big old chunky blueprint. But it's a nice one. The only issue is that you were... No, this is fine. This is what you want to do. So you wanted to get to line up with your crude oil as well. Which pipe is the crude oil pipe? It's this one. So you want it to go 4 down. It's not going to fit 4 down. Okay. Honestly, blueprint this. You sit in here. I'll come back for you. Because I think I want to change this around. It really sucks. We've already put a ton of oil into it. But I guess oil is, like, technically free. So, you know, rip or whatever. But I actually want you to go here. And then you come down like this. And then you can come out like this. That heat pipe runs down this way. This heat pipe runs out this way. And then this little stub is what actually keeps that tank heated. And then let's see how that works for us. Because where we would be angling to build all this is like right in here. Which, speaking of, plus 31 of them, all the way up to 50. Let's go spend all of it. Then we can say the oil pipe is here. That belt is carrying ice away. We'll probably just turn it. So I think you're going to go here. And here. And here. You're out of... What do you need? You're out of heat pipe. You're out of chem plant. You need 132 more heat pipe. You, Aquilo building supplies. Give me 500, please. From Fulgora. We don't make those on Fulgora. Alright, well let's fix that. Should be fairly easy enough to get working. Looks like you have space right here. Do you have a parameterized Fulgora blueprint somewhere? Stream blueprints? Yeah, there it is. Storage filter is heat pipe. Logistics limit is heat pipe. Manufacturing target is heat pipe. Off you go. You guys get to work on that? It is going to take a while to build all of those, unfortunately. I may send you back to Nauvis. Static's noticeable and robots are charging. Alright, so it's a robot charging issue. I have to imagine that's a game effect. Let's go find out. No. Better? Better? Worse? I can also just like not... I'll just not zoom in on robots. How about that? Because I don't immediately know what sound effect it is. Master 95. I'm pretty sure that's going to be way too loud. Wait, ambient? No. Sounds of machines and vehicles? Maybe. Let's try that. So, you are actually not going to get what you need from Fulgora. I need you to get that from Nauvis. Okay. Good to know it is fixed. And then this belt needs to get reversed. Usually when there's weird static cropping up in the stream, it means I haven't updated my audio drivers in a while. So after stream tonight, I'll do that, and we'll see if that improves things. Wait, how much ice does this produce? 15 to 30, 45. You're going to need to put a balancer in here somewhere. Where are you going to have room for that? Actually, I think I see where you have room for that. I think it's going to be right here. Oh, stop complaining. Yeah. Yeah. Kill these three. No, you're gonna need a little more space. No, you're fine. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's so good. Okay. So this part in the middle we can rip out. And we're going to have one of those balancers at every one of those spots. We'll make a slight addendum to the blueprint after the blueprint builds. But that's going to allow us to produce a balanced belt of ice so that we don't have one side that gets overloaded. I think we're in business with this. I think we're doing really well. Also, since it's almost 1 a.m. and I still have some stuff to do tonight, we're going to be done after I build this thing and test it and make sure it works. But this is a good start to Aquilo. Well, we wait for you to load up on heat pipe, because that is going to take 10 rocket deliveries. Let's go scout out for our next resource patches. We're not going to need these anytime soon, but it will be good to know where they are, and then we can also pick up a little bit of free ice and ice platforms while we're out here. That island has nothing on it. Best of luck to you. I feel like mine has gone successfully so far, and I wish you the best of luck with your own trip. I have a nice O face. Why, thank you. Thank you very much. It's not for you, though. How are you doing over here? Hey, that should ship fast. It's only 2 sets of rocket launches. That should be done in no time flat. On Nauvis, anyway. There's 6 rockets going at the same time over there. This is a resource island. You have to have something. This is your next source of lithium brine, it looks like. Yeah? Yeah, that's an extra 4.3 million lithium brine. Here's your next fluorine. That's 481. Your first lithium brine deposit is actually fairly small. And then here is an absolutely gigantic oil field that I cannot imagine you'll need. But good to know they're out here at least. Clean up some of this. And then fill in all of the platforms over here now that we have a bunch of extra ice. So far, so good. You have my heat pipes ready for me. You do. Let's have you head to Gleba. We will take inventory of our rocket count. Well, no, you shouldn't need to stop at Gleba. You have 1,000 rockets. Just send it all the way to Aquilo. And let's watch it work, just to make sure that things are running okay. Hey, this ship turned out okay. I do feel like it's just a giant circle. I wish that I could have built a more rotund ship. But it's alright, at the end of the day. Or a less rotund ship. I wanted to build a wider ship. I think these also came out okay. They're just kind of boxy. I'll show you the ship design that I really like on my other file. It's not one that I made. It's one that I got from a blueprint. But it's the one that I think is really cool. I just didn't want to use any blueprints for this playthrough and build everything by scratch. But that's the last thing we do before we end. You're coming up on Gleba. And then as soon as you pass Gleba, we're into big asteroid territory. Thruster fuel's holding up fine. Oxidizer's holding up fine. All of our belts are saturated. Everything just kind of runs now, which is good. You have lots of carbon available. Over here, you have lots of iron ore available. Everything's backed up. We have so much productivity available to us, and with full ammo in this ship, it's hard to imagine anything doing damage to it. It feels like the firepower is more than sufficient for anything it's run into so far. It just needs a little bit of extended downtime on each end of its trip. Honestly, we could probably repurpose some pretty significant parts of this platform for the ship that goes to the solar system edge as well. What did you just destroy? It was a turret. I briefly thought that right-click drag was how you move the camera instead of left-click, but... Turret's at the front, out of ammo. How? You have 983. Just wait for them to come around. Wait, where? Oh, shit. Son of a bitch. So I destroyed a part of Belt 2, apparently. We're going to go ahead and quick save that one. Yeah, I accidentally destroyed that belt, and it stopped the entire belt from moving, and that was problems. Alright, left click. Left click drag. We are left click dragging. Whatever, you're going to be fine. You'll make it. We know that you're going to make it. What else can you be working on down here? Filling an ice platform, probably. Why don't you fill in... Oh, right, you need to place it over here still. Okay, fair enough. You're full up on 25k. That's good. You are at 90 C for heat. I don't want to put rocket fuel into you until I'm making it sustainably down here. I also think I want this belt to go the other way. Because it feels like everything we're going to consume rocket fuel for is probably going to be on this side of the base. And this, I mean, these factories are making like 0.1 per second. We're going to have 0 belt throughput issues here. We can use one side and it'll be A-okay. You're doing just fine. You can put a little bit of spare concrete down. Really start polishing this area up. You're out of concrete. Alright, well, as soon as the ship gets back, you're gonna have to send it back to Foldora. But concrete is a full waste product over there, so I'm totally fine ripping concrete off of Foldora. It just saves my recyclers some time. Although I probably need to let your ammo rebuild, don't I? No, you still have 1,000 rockets. I can actually have you turn around immediately when you get to Aquilo. Yeah, this is good. Let's do a little bit more stronger explosives. Maybe take it to 10. I want to see if I can get rocket shots down to 3 instead of 4. Just save a lot of extra ammo for us. It is a good ship at the end of the day. It takes a long time to spin up, but once it's spun up, it's a good ship. You are still working. Probably should have brought some speed modules for you, just to make you go a bit faster, but I didn't really think of it. And then I also want to connect this part of the grid. So we will have a fully connected heat grid. You, I don't really know what I'm going to do with you right now. No, I do know what I'm going to do with you. Our cargo pad is going to live like over here somewhere. And then this is probably the portion of the island that we're going to develop out for like our infrastructure and stuff. You losing heat? 41, 40? How did you lose so much heat? Because you never reconnected these heat pipes. They need to connect straight through here now. That's why. Alright, Sojourner. Send all my stuff down. Actually, relatively urgently that you do that, because our heating grid is about to collapse upon itself. With these pipes getting too cold, that's going to shut down these steam turbines. Yoink. And yoink. Connect these here. Let heat flow back into those pipes. There we go. That's all coming back on. Good, good. You just need a little bit more ice platform. And then let's connect. And concrete. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite you. Like right there. Can I have that, please? Maybe these two. I guess technically I don't really need them. Don't really need those either. Hate the way it makes it look, but it at least lets me build these. You connect here. That's going to let the nuclear reactor heat flow into you. This connects here. And then how do you get these to connect? You didn't think about that, did you? It's just a wall. Every time that alert goes off, I'm like, oh no, there's a problem with the ship. No, it's just the wall. How do you get heat pipe to the back? I mean, the lazy solution would be to say that you're never going to expand further out than here. And you just run it like that. That's the lazy solution. Also, this is easy. You can do that. The question is the lazy solution good enough? I guess it is. You're also going to need to get ammonial solution into these things. Which I think you're going to do like this. And then we can put a pipe up there. But you're going to need more platform for that. A lot more platform for that. Can you steal platform from anywhere else? Yeah, steal some of this platform. You can make cosmetic changes later. Oh, and that's concrete you're out of, too. Steal some of this concrete. Again, you can get cosmetic later. So this is going to go underground. And then above ground. You're going to have a single patch here and two there. One more here. And then a fairly long run of concrete. Which again, you can kind of cannibalize from other parts of the factory. Run this out here. Offshore pump here. All these turn on. Wow, look at that. You have ice getting made. That needs a connection. That needs a connection. And then where do you want to run that ice? Well, I guess you could just run it around here. Because there's heat for it. You can have it go like this, I guess. I don't immediately know what it accomplishes for you. And then you need more ammonia, but you can't make ammonia because you're seized on ice. So you need a way to destroy this ice. Aquilo Sojourner needs to go to Fulgora. You need to pick up 1 stack of recyclers, which are production, which are here. Rocket capacity 10. I can't imagine we need more than 10. So grab 10. And then you also need about 1,000 concrete. And that's going to be, I think, the last load we bring down. Oh, and then as far as this goes, oh, you can't send ice this way. You need to reverse the direction of this ice belt. Because this is how we're actually going to get fuel out of here. You are in. So you're going to have in like this. That goes to out here. That does a little one of these. And then you're going to have out here. That goes out like that. And then through the middle here is where you're going to run the heat pipe that manages this belt. So then these are just going to extend out like this. And every once in a while, we'll have them go underground so they can talk to each other. But that's going to keep both these belts heated. And then this is going to be your rocket fuel out. But then your ice out is going to need to be up here. You're going to need to go like this. And then like this. These are going to need to get reversed. Yeah, that's right. And then you're going to cross your fingers that you can build a belt balancer in the inverted direction. I think you can. And then you slide over here and you slide over here. Alright, so destroy this. Copy this. Paste it here. Run this through here. It's just wall. And then as long as you're on Fulgora, you also want to ask for materials for a launch pad, which is going to be 1,000 steel. $1,000 steel. Do I need to set an import from? No. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. 200 electric engine unit. 200 processing unit. No, apparently you do. A 100 pipe. And how much concrete? 1,000? Yeah, 1,000 concrete. Okay. So you are busy sending all this up, I can only assume. You're busy building rockets. Okay, that makes perfect sense. You're shipping space-built rocket silo. For a cargo landing pad, you're going to need steel processing unit concrete. That's already going to be sent down. But let's also do space-built rocket parts. And that is going to be 200. 200. As soon as I see him, there they are. 200. And then for Aquilo building supplies, send me another 100 steel. Wait, what does steel stack do on a rocket? 400? Send me another 400 steel. And then send me nothing else. I think you're fine. Because we'll have spare blue chips from the Spaceboat rocket parts request, and we'll have spare concrete from the Aquilo building supplies request. So when this shipment comes in, we will have enough spare junk that comes out of it that... Oh, you need to hook water up to this thing, too. Surely you can find a place to hook water. Right? Surely. Yeah, but where would you do it, though? You haven't really left yourself room. Yeah, what you probably should have done is set up like a pipe bus alongside the belt bus. Actually, you could have it come out this way. What's supposed to be water? You? That should take care of it as soon as we have concrete. Which we're working on. Got so many requests. We might actually let those requests finish next time since we're at like 1:15 a.m. I don't want to be up super, super late tonight. But I think that is a fairly productive first trip to Aquila. We have a lot of stuff that we're still doing by hand. We're still feeding these nuclear reactors by hand. We don't really have a functional logistics grid up yet. Heating leaves a lot to be desired, and we're not really like making anything. But I think we have a good foundation that we're going to be able to expand off of for next time. The biggest concern I think I have is how far away this lithium brine is. But hopefully we can find a way to get it on some kind of main bus so that we can send it through the middle of the base and we can start producing some things out of it. The next time we do that is going to be on Tuesday. I do not anticipate streaming tomorrow. It's Memorial Day, but then I've also got a bunch of stuff that I need to get done anyway for work. I will see you guys Tuesday for Guild Wars 2, followed by Factorio. I will see you Wednesday for Guild Wars 2, followed by Factorio. If you want to know when that stream is going to go live, I have a Discord. You can join it. You will get stream pings for when the stream goes live in the future. I have a VODs channel, and if you would like to catch up on any of these last Factorio series that we've done, I think this is episode 64 now or something like that, the VODs channel would be your place to go and do that. But until then, I hope you have a good rest of your holiday weekend if you're in the United States, and I will see you around next week. Take care. Have a good one.